Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and this week a different publisher, a new publisher from our friends in Italy. This is a game by Paolo Mori and Alessandro Zucchini, Battlefields of the Napoleonic Wars, from a new publisher, Hidalgo. Apologies to you both if I've pronounced that incorrectly. I've been speaking to Paolo over recent weeks, seen this game through social media, highlighted by Paolo over the last few months, and it intrigued me. Certainly looking at some of the components that he'd shown pictures of, and we got talking about the game, the design and what it looked like, and he kindly sent me a copy, which I promised I would therefore sort of share that to the wider community so you can see this game. It is a limited copy game. I think 500 copies have been published so far. Obviously, as a small up-and-coming game publisher, budgets are important, so happy to help and promote the game as appropriate. So I thought I'd just show you what you get in the game to start with. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Hoping over the next month or so to get it out on the table and have a go. But for today, this is a partial unboxing because I've already had a look in the box and had to put some of the components into bags, etc., which I'll show you in a moment and the reasons why. But I think you'll like what you see. So without further ado, let's talk a bit about the artwork. As you can see, absolutely gorgeous. Looks like a dragoon of the French army there. Colourful, really stands out. Very clear exactly what it is. It's a good sized box. As you can see, this is actually a sleeved cardboard box, which is absolutely fine. I'll show you that in a moment. And on the back, it just kind of again just shows you first print run, published by in Italy in 2025, and the contents of the box. So you get one rule book, 2 player aids, 4 maps, 4 folders, 5 special dice, a 6-sided dice, 176 counters, 32 wooden tokens and markers. So there's quite a bit in this game, and in fact there are 4 battles on 4 separate maps within this game, and as we'll see, I think it opens up hopefully for lots of potential for further battles to be added into this game going forward. It's for 1 to 2 players. There is a solo element which I'll show you, and it should run for an hour to 2 hours. Again, I can't comment on that at the moment. Age 14 plus. So this, as it says, is about experiencing a fresh take on historical gaming. It combines easy to learn rules, quick setup, and a deep focus on unique aspects of warfare during this period. Perfect for newcomers, but also for seasoned veterans. And there's some examples of some of the bits and pieces that you can expect in the game. So let's just show you how this works. I'm going to just take this sleeve off. Let's say some really nice branding. You can see even inside the sleeve you've got the branding of the company there. A very nice touch. Absolutely understand the reasoning for going for this method as opposed to a traditional hardcore box. Keep the costs down, doesn't affect the quality, and it looks really lovely. So I'm just going to explain first why you got the stickers all taken off, because I've already stickered the dice and the discs, as you'll see in a moment. So not quite on the scale of Command and Colours in terms of the numbers of stickers that need applied. It took me about 10 minutes, no problem at all. I'll show you those in a moment. I'm going to show you all the counters and the dice and everything first. So first of all, these are the objective markers. Now the issue for me was that when I got the box, lots and lots of these counters. They're all just fallen out of the counter sheet. They obviously are very well done because they're thick counters, as you can see there. These are the objective markers. So it's a generic red and blue representing France and whoever your opponent is. So that's those. So I was kind of forced into a position really of sorting the counters out, which I've done. I put them into these little bags, but just to sort of show you some of the quality of the components. They're pretty good, to be honest. I like the thickness. Really clear and easy to understand. They're a generic counter. As you can see there, there's very little information on them. And so what we're worried about here, for example, is the number of chevrons, which represent the quality of the unit type, with gold being the best, I believe, with 3, silver the next best with 2, and then white the next with 1. So you can see we've got infantry, cavalry and artillery, and then on the back you've got the disordered or spent side as they take casualties and get reduced effectiveness. So we've got lots of counters there in the blue. They're predominantly all the same. Infantry, cavalry or artillery, as you would expect from Napoleonic warfare. And then you've got the same here for the red side as well. So I've just bagged those up to make it a little bit easier to get those out. These are the other bits and pieces. So you've got these discs here which represent, I think this is rally markers. Nice discs with stickers on. You've got a standard D6 dice, as you can hopefully see there, and then you've got these other dice. So you've got a black dice, which we'll come on to when we look at the rules. It's a special dice. 2 grey ones and 2 orange ones. Again, these are all custom dice. Symbols represent different things. Very similar, as I say, to perhaps a Command and Colours, where you have that dice that represents different things. I'll show you how that looks in the rules themselves. And then you've got some other game markers. So these big bullet size ones represent leaders. You've then got activation markers, and I believe that is sort of where you can put those down to represent these discs, a number of orders, for example, that you have. So again, nice straightforward wooden markers, good size. They're quite big, as you can see. Certainly the leader ones, if you look at the size of those, they're bigger than my thumb. Again, you've got red and blue there as well. So again, looking really good. Then you get into the rule book. Nice full colour, good paper stock being used here. This is really good quality paper. The rules book itself is 15 pages, and really nicely set out, as you can see there, in full colour. So it talks a bit about unit classes, which we've touched on already, different styles, terrain, how that works in the game. This is a hex encounter game, but it's not complicated. And then the black dice, which is this special hazard dice that the players can decide to use or not use in melee combat, so, or assaults, etc. So that's quite an interesting dynamic. You've got the fire dice, which are the orange ones, and the assault dice are the grey ones. And again, it tells you what the results mean there. So that's quite an interesting element of the game. For me, going to the front, you've got the game elements with the maps, which we'll come on to. We've got formations. We can use columns and lines, which is good. We've got disordered units, broken units, activation tokens, as we've talked about, markers, preparing for the battle. fighting the battle. This issuing orders is the key dynamic that I can see. Sorry about that, move the camera. Key mechanic I can see in the game. So as you'll see when we get the battle boards out as such, the maps out, you've got these order trails, and as you use those they fill up, and once used you can't use them again without completing a rally, which resets that board. Quite an interesting dynamic. So a rally will allow you to recover things, but it will concede victory points to your opponent and sort of restricts, I believe, what you can do as well for that turn. So quite an interesting thing there. Timing, the order in which you use your activations, your orders. Yeah, it kind of, I believe, again, I haven't played it yet, but I believe it will ensure the game comes to an end as those victory points start to stack up. So really nice rulebook, looks really good, full colour, say, really good quality. You've got a little solo aide de camp, so this is just so you can utilise a little solo option in there if you wish to. Nothing too complicated, but nice option. Just got the authenticity statement there. I've got number 42. So really nice little small personal touch there from Paolo and the team. You've got these player aids which are really nice, like pocket size, open up, full colour. I like that a lot. I think that's a really nice element, because you haven't then got to have that spread all over the table. Players can just hold those to the side and open them up and look at them as they need them. Sometimes I think all these player aids, terrain charts, the maps, they take up so much table space, and you're kind of really lacking for just general space as well. And then you get to the 4 battles in the box. So we've got Hagelberg 1813, Austerlitz 1805, La Coruna 1809, and Rivoli 1797. And they're different size and aspects depending on the battle. So this you will have out on the table. Each battle has one of these. So as I say, we've got these activation kind of lines as they are. You've got a reinforcement schedule, so you could get reinforcements. Got the forces concerned, a little bit of special rules, terrain rules for that particular battle. So some really nice thought out elements there, all in one sheet for you to use. And on the back you've got a nice setup map as well, so really easy to get the game up and running very, very quickly with these battle folders. And there's one for each battle, and then each battle has its own specific map. So if I show you this one, Rivoli, I believe, is the smallest one, or one of the smallest ones. Yeah, the maps themselves quite thin paper. They're very nice. I think I would want to put plexi on these to protect them, because I do worry they might not stand time in terms of wear and tear unless you really look after them. But I do like the colour palette, as you can probably hopefully see through the camera there. Really nice colour palette, different colours, shades, and you can see all the key elements of the battlefields, the roads, the heights, the rivers. I think they're very, very nice, and really big hex sizes as well. If I put my hand there, you can see how big these are. So there's plenty of room in there, which again I really like, because sometimes with hexes they can be very, very cramped. I'm just going to very, very quickly show you just some of the other ones. So Hagelberg there, again you've got a sheet. In fact, this one looks a bit smaller. Perhaps this is the smallest one. This one's in a portrait rather than a landscape fashion, so you've got that one there. Austerlitz I know is the biggest one, so La Coruna must be the next one up. Again, you've got your folder, And then you've got this nice map again. We're getting bigger all the time. Again, though, really nice colour palettes, very clear, easy to see. So that's really nice as well. Certainly when you get the reds and blues of the counters on there, it's not going to be any problem for us with aging eyes to be able to see what's going on there. So that's really good. And then we've got finally the biggest battle, which you would expect to be Austerlitz. This is a very large map. Again, just be very careful how I open that one up because it is big and I want to protect it. This one again is portrait, so potentially I think as we would be paying it landscape, but for the purposes of showing you on the video, I'm just going to scroll up there. You got the key elements of the Prats and the big part there coming down this way, which is nice. It's really nicely done, to be honest, really nicely done. Again, really easy to see. Not going to have any problems identifying areas on those maps. So overall initial thoughts, very impressed. Couple of small little things, but nothing major. And to be honest, for a new company, new publisher coming to market, I mean, look at the beautiful artwork on these, really attractive. I could see this becoming a series people could build up, buy these folders. Perhaps these could be released as expansions in their own right, mini expansions, which will keep costs down as well if we're able to use the same components. I need to talk to Paolo and find out what his future plans are depending on the success of this. But I hope that's given you a flavour of the game and a flavour of hopefully what battlefields of the Napoleonic Wars can bring in the future. So go and give the website a look and have a look at the game. I know there's a couple of other things in pipeline, but that's Battlefields of the Napoleonic Wars from Ingeniosohidalgo, Paolo Mori, Alessandro Zucchini. I hope to bring you a review a little bit more in depth once I've had a playthrough. But for now, enjoy the rest of your gaming weekend and see you all soon.